What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Sunday and getting prepared to start the week. Hope you're having a better day than I am. Had to do an emergency vet visit today for a bird. Back throughout this morning, and my kitchen was leaking water from the ceiling, so that is fantastic. We're going to get into just a little bit of explanations for you guys today. I want to talk about payment versus settlement. A lot of people don't understand what use case these digital assets are going to fulfill in the financial industry, and I think that it's worth explaining. There's a lot of confusing terminology, especially when you get into blockchain in this space, and looking at the legacy inefficiencies and looking at the technology that there is right now, and trying to explain both of those and compare and contrast, I think is an invaluable thing to do for the community. So that's something that I wanted to do today. So first off, I did want to say thank you for 20,000 subscribers. Fantastic. I did a poll on Twitter and YouTube, and it looks like the majority of people would rather see 4 people to win $50. So I'm going to announce that this week. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I am going to still do it regardless of my emergency vet visit today, because I said on Twitter I was going to a month or two ago. But just thank you all. I really appreciate it. I try to put out news and not hype-based content. Now, getting into that, if you don't follow Crypto Eddie, she put out a fantastic tweet today. My YouTube channel is not for entertainment purposes only, and neither is mine, people. I am not here for entertainment. I am here for research and presenting the facts. This is for real money, real geopolitics, and our real future. I'm here to win, not to entertain. Pick your poison. And I know Galgatron put out a very Galgatron-esque tweet, which I agree with as well. Scumbag formula for making money on YouTube. Choose topic with large following. Proliferate common lies to trigger said following and bask in the ad revenue. And that's 100% true. You people need, I don't care who you follow in this space. We're all adults here. But I know for a fact on my channel, I try not to pander to confirmation bias for people. I talk about multiple digital assets. I talk about multiple winners in this space because I believe that that's a fact. I also believe that they're building a system up that will run in tandem or in parallel with the legacy system. And they are doing that. But there are going to be multiple assets that play a role in that system. Multiple digital assets, for sure. And it just goes to show, if you watch through videos and you see things that are overly hypey, they probably are. I get a little bit hypey sometimes. I think we all do. We're all speculators in this space, and we all get excited when we see certain things. There's a difference between getting excited and presenting things in a way that would lead people to potentially make decisions that may harm their financial situation, may or may not harm their financial situation. We see that all this stuff about quantum financial system right now. I'm not saying that isn't a real thing, but I don't know if I would necessarily want to present that to you all, because a lot of the people that we see in these videos now that are directly talking about the QFS, also believe in, clones of Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, et cetera, et cetera. That's fine. That may be, I'm not going to say that that's not possible, but it would be crazy for me to present that to an audience of people that are trying to learn about digital assets. And, personal opinions and presented opinions are different. And I try to present as many facts as I possibly can. So take everything you see with a grain of salt in this space. Now, this is a real article. This is from The Hill. The Hill is a very respectable news outlet. This is from Chris Larson, and this is true. The tech Cold War is here, and the U.S. is not winning. Now, this goes into the antiquated system. Like it or not, the U.S. is already fighting an economic and technological Cold War against China. If you're not aware, China is very far ahead with their digital yuan. So, and the U.S. is still talking about digital dollar and et cetera. We're going to see central bank digital currencies across the board. You can even see here from the IMF, they put out a tweet today, the world of payments and currencies is changing. Our central bank digital currencies coming soon. What's interesting about this tweet This was from like October 2019 or September of 2019, this blog post. But they felt the need to repost this today for some strange reason. All right, now it's talking about 5G and AI are part of China's $1.4 trillion technology commitment. We will also see here that Russia, China, and India are setting up an alternative to the SWIFT payment system. I'm going to go over what the SWIFT payment system is. It is the antiquated global messaging payment system that every bank in the world pretty much uses. And they're trying to connect 3 billion people using this system that is not connected to SWIFT. All right, now we get into this. And I talk about Ripple and XRP a lot on this channel. Again, not financial advice whatsoever. I would never tell you to buy anything that you weren't comfortable doing your own research in and looking into on your own. But we look at SWIFT, and they're a 46-year-old organization, whereas Ripple was established in 2012. I'm just going to touch base on this a little bit here, okay? SWIFT does not deal in instant settlement for the most part, or at least in instant settlement that is revolutionary, okay? SWIFT came out with an initiative, and just so you know the scope of SWIFT here, according to a document from the U.S. Treasury, and this is a real document, but they deleted it from the Treasury website, SWIFT handles about $5 trillion in payments per day, messaging. Now, payments are different than settlement, okay? Settlement means that both banks on both sides of a transaction are completely, everything's finalized, okay? There's nothing else to be done, okay? And correspondent banking, and all the way back in the 1970s, all the way until today, when a payment has been sent, there is so much back office work that needs done on both ends of the transaction that it's crazy, it's inefficient, it's days. It takes 2, 3, 4 days. When you're talking about cross-border remittances and stuff like that, it can take up to a week. And we've seen figures all the way from like 3% to 7% error rates in those payments. Another big problem is whenever you're sending money, if I was to send money home through a bank or through a remittance company, and I lived, my home was in the Philippines, I would have no idea how much money is going to get there. Okay, so these digital assets inherently solve this problem, and we'll go over that here in a second. But okay, talked about Ripple versus SWIFT, who's going to dominate in interbank transfers. Now, this is how the SWIFT system works. I will post, for all of you, I'm going to post all of these links in this YouTube video because this isn't like a deep dive find. This is information that if you're looking into this space, all of us should know this information, okay? Need to transfer money overseas. Today, walk into a bank and transfer money anywhere around the globe. But how does it happen? Now, mostly everything runs through SWIFT. Every day, nearly 11,000 SWIFT member institutions send approximately 33.6 million transactions through the network. Now, this article explains what SWIFT does, how it works, and how it makes money. If you're also not aware, SWIFT basically had an interview with Ripple. They went in there like they were going to be a potential client, and then they came up with this thing called Swift GPI. And Swift GPI is essentially Ripple's first technology, which is X-Current. And X-Current is basically a correspondent relationship between two banking institutions that pre-validates messages and essentially settles instantly, but it still settles with the money that each bank has to have in reserves to fulfill a transaction, okay? So if I'm Bank A, I need to have $10 million in my bank of Bank B's. If I'm Bank B, I need to have $10 million in my bank in Bank A. And they come up with this agreement, and a payment is made. It can instantly settle because debits and credits are basically instant, but it's still using that trapped liquidity, that $10 million on each end that each bank has to hold at each other bank, in each other bank's reserves to fulfill the transaction, okay? That is not revolutionary, people. This system was developed in the early 70s, okay? Whenever you and I can send an email to each other and we get it in 2 to 3 seconds, when I can send you a text message in 2 to 3 seconds, and settlement, there's technology that is that is here that can instantly settle on ledger 3 to 5 seconds. And then if you're talking going through the exchanges and all the pre-validated messaging and everything, it's 2 to 3 minutes. That removes that trapped liquidity necessary requirement that these banks have. It is huge. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily 100% going to be XRP, But if you see the amount of payments messaging that Swift handles, and I'm showing it to you right now, and if XRP were to potentially bridge something like that, even a fraction of something like that on a daily basis, it would be huge. And I will show you what these large institutions are doing. They are building the new system in parallel to the legacy system. And once it's built in parallel and they start using it, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think there's going to be a convergence? Do you think that the legacy system is going to survive much longer? Or do you think that the new system is just going to completely swallow it whole? All right. Now, we already talked about this. Swift handles $5 trillion per day, 250 business days per year. Only 250. Okay. I know that I don't think there's, I'm sure they're 365, but 1.25 quadrillion per year. Okay. Now we do see this slide here. This is Wrath of Kahneman. Give him a follow on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I posted this too, but this was the first one that popped up. This was a Swift presentation from May of 2019. Settlement on Corda. If you're not aware, Swift GPI is basically Corda Settler. Okay. They're going to use Corda Settler for settlement on Swift GPI. Interestingly enough, the first digital asset that can also settle on Corda Settler was XRP. Now we can see this is a Swift presentation, FinTech conference. We see the Swift symbol down here. We see Corda Settler and a GPI link. Now this is just Swift GPI, but they do go out of their way to call out XRP. They're not supporting XRP or cryptocurrency settlement. That is not even in the code right now. So any of you that think that it's in the code, it's not. But they're not collaborating with Ripple, etc., etc. Now we get into ACH. ACH is basically like transfers from your bank account to pay bills, etc. The ACH network is gigantic. The ACH network is also not instant settlement. Introduce you to settlement times. The back and the front office, it's days. It takes days to settle these transactions when technology exists to settle it instantly. Granted, the liquidity needs to be there in the digital asset marketplace, but I do believe that we will get there one day. ACH network moves 23 billion payments and $51 trillion in 2018. That's big. Common uses of ACH payments. A taxpayer sending funds to the IRS. A customer paying a service provider. Your gas bills, your electric bill, etc. An employer depositing money to an employee's checking account, so direct deposit. A business paying a supplier for products. A consumer moving funds from one bank to another. And like I said, this is, I think, what's very confusing to people, is because if I have a bank account, generally, if there's direct deposit, or if I transfer money, it appears to me that that's instant. But for the banks, it is not instant by any means. There is a back-end process that is days long with all sorts of middlemen and middlewomen in there that are facilitating paperwork that can be done via technology that can make that transfer actually instant as far as settlement is concerned. Now, we talked about NASHA, and NASHA is basically the steward or the overseer of the ACH network in the United States. Ripple obviously joined NASHA. You can look into that. There's tons of slides. I know many of you probably know that. This is what I wanted to get into, though, okay? And this is what they are doing across the board. Financial institutions, if you look into Swift partnerships and you look into Ripple partnerships, many of the same institutions are partnered with both. Now, why would they be doing that? Number one, I'll tell you why, because I've seen in many documents that these institutions are 100% future-proofing, okay? Because they see the capabilities of the technology and what's going to happen. They don't want to be left in the dust, so they are inherently still using that legacy correspondent system, but they are making the partnerships and the relationships that are necessary to survive in the new digital age that is about to happen as far as finance is concerned. We see this is through, what is this? It's IBIS, right? And I presented a video on this. I'm using XRP Arcade as a reference because I already did this one. We've all found this one. We've seen this. This is Swiss route. Now, IBIS is offering practicality of having both Swift and Ripple in one pocket with no more limitations to banking possibilities. Now, why do you think IBIS would want to do something like that? Okay? Ripple and Swift united on one platform, introducing a new financial messaging platform with the convenience of having Swift and Ripple in your pocket. I personally believe that all of the correspondent relationships with Swift are going to, and they probably already do, have some sort of a blockchain initiative. whether it be Ripple, whether it be Hyperledger, whether it be R3, whether it be whatever it may be. But we do know that Ripple is trying to right now solve the cross-border payments problem, which I touched briefly on in this video. But I always try to explain to people, you can't instantly settle or solve the settlement problem if you aren't solving the payment problem and if you aren't solving the messaging problem. So what is Swift, or what is Ripple done, all right? They've combined all their solutions into basically RippleNet, right? On-demand liquidity is rolled up into one. And they've got the messaging problem solved. They've got the payments problem solved. Interledger Protocol solves the interoperability problem. And we all know what the capabilities of XRP are as far as settlement are concerned. And I'm here for that capability. I'm here to win in this game, just like Eddie said earlier in her tweet. I'm not here to lose. I really think that we can all see where this is going in the future. I hope that we're right. But it's very dangerous to say that we're 100% right, because there's always risk, right? When you invest, there's always risk, because something could always go wrong. Now, this is a great slide, too. I'm going to share this with you all. This is SEPA for corporates. This is Ripple versus Swift, battle for the $150 trillion. Comparison of the two most popular cross-border payment networks. A brief overview. Their founding dates, the headquarters, the CEOs. Now, Godfrey LeBron is no longer with Swift. I believe he retired or is retiring from Swift. Employees, 300. I believe that's more than 300 now. 2,000 for Swift. Number of clients, 150 banks and FIs on RippleNet, 160 banks and FIs, not on Swift, but using Swift GPI. We can see major clients here, okay? Now, there are multiple initiatives that tie some of these together, so almost... You really need to dig into this, but there's been trials with R3 with a lot of these Swift clients. Intesa San Paulo actually trialed XRP. I know that for a fact. RBC, I believe, trialed RippleNet, or has trialed RippleNet. BNP Paribas, I believe, the same thing. Deutsche Bank, I believe, the same thing. Deutsche Bank, I believe, actually confirmed Zoom and one other institution as RippleNet clients. You can go down the gambit there. But technology... And this is all rolled into on-demand liquidity at this point, RippleNet. Instant payment. Okay, so both of them have instant payment. Instant settlement, yes. Now, instant settlement via GPI, I believe, is available now. But you still have to use the Nostro and Vostro accounts, that trapped liquidity. So it's kind of like a Band-Aid, in my opinion. It's like a Band-Aid that they're using to... Wait until Ripple rips it off, I think. I don't know, but who knows? Liquidity sourcing, transfer speed. Now, this is XRP on Ledger. 4 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. Intraday payments, 30 minutes. This is just payments, right? Through Swift. Foreign exchange rates, data, technology. We get it, right? I already touched base on that, but now this is another example here, okay? This is real-time payments 2.0 through the new payments platform in Australia. And this is just one more example of interoperability that these institutions are talking about. They're talking about future-proofing, and they're talking about options. They're talking about choice. And once the choice has been made to have option A, which is Swift, the legacy system, or option B, which is Ripple, in my opinion, I believe it's going to be Ripple. And in my opinion, once we have clarification on digital assets from a regulatory standpoint, to me, it makes the most sense that XRP could be utilized when it's already... It already functions with the previously installed software. That's complete speculation, again. So I'm not telling you to go out and buy or spend all your money on XRP. That's just my insight into this. The need for a cross-border instant payments ecosystem has been recognized by many countries. Regional schemes or global initiatives such as Ripple or Swift GPI have been developed to respond to this demand. However, in an era where open services, choice, and flexibility are paramount, the industry needs to avoid the pitfalls of the past and ensure interoperability of these platforms. They're talking about choices, people. Russia, China, and India to set up an alternative. And we can see right here, GPI. GPI has 3,500 banks signed up and $300 billion a day right now. So, and I'm sure many of these banks, many of these 3,500 banks also have relationships with Ripple, maybe some other blockchain relationships as well. Again, I just wanted to, again, say, please watch out for hypey content in this space. It's a dangerous space. Do your own research. There's multiple winners in this space. The internet of value is 100% real, but it's going to have multiple winners, okay? And try to hedge and try to make the right decisions in this space, and make moves smartly, not just blindly following people on Twitter, people on YouTube, etc., including myself. So again, I'll announce details about the $50 giveaway here later this week, where I can actually settle down after all the crap that's went on this weekend. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for me, please post them on YouTube. I'm generally pretty good. I'm going to post all of these links on YouTube as well, okay? Because it's important for all of us to understand. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and enjoy the beginning of Monday. Later.